here. Welcome to another Tech Agent Q&A. We are super excited because today we have with us Robert from The Bonds and Co. Hey Robert, how's it going?
Hey, good. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for kind of popping on with us today. So for anyone who doesn't know you, can you fill us in a little bit about your real estate business, where you're located and your market?
Yeah, absolutely. So originally, my wife and I, grew up in the Western Washington area. Kind of moved over to the Spokane, North Idaho area, which is the eastern side of Washington. We started our real estate business in 2020, and we're just busy now. So very thankful for that.
Yeah. So speaking of that 2020, sounds like you guys ventured into real estate at one of the craziest times.
Yeah, 100%.
And you relocated at that time, correct?
Yeah. Well, we were relocated about a year prior to it. I transferred over from another job. My wife was property management, and I was in essentially sales as well. So we transferred over, and then we went full go. Both quit our jobs in December of 2019, and went full go January of 2020 into real estate. So
Wow. I think sometimes that's maybe the way you have to do it.
yeah, it just honestly it was a real faith journey. We had this idea of bettering ourselves and bettering our future, and while impacting as many people as possible. We kept getting called to being in real estate, and that was just the way. So it was just kind of like an eye-opening thing of essentially quitting our jobs and let's just go for it.
Wow. So obviously there was many challenges at that time with the shutdown in 2020. Um,
100%.
what were like your top three and how did you guys kind of overcome it?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is obviously we did not know Spokane, North Idaho at all. We moved to a completely new area, not knowing anyone. We didn't have any friends or family over here. So I think the biggest challenge was that in itself was not knowing people. And so when we both quit our jobs and, real estate is all about who you know, that was a really big challenge for us. And then obviously on top of that, we had three major things that happened. Obviously COVID happened. We had a major flood in our house that actually set us back during that time. And then our son was born right all at the same time. So it was chaotic in March because those literally all happened within a week to 2 weeks of each other. So
Wow, that's a lot.
yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of like, all right, now let's pray. Let's, essentially figure this out because we have a mission, we have a goal of what we're trying to do. And again, it was impacting as many people as possible. And, we weren't going to let those, setbacks obviously hold us back at all. So,
At a time where you only had your home, it flooded.
yep, it was like just brand new and then everything. And then obviously our basement flooded twice, all within a couple of months of each other. So it was great.
Well, so how did you get out of it? Like what kind of strategies did you use to start to meet people, get connected to your sphere and your community?
So one that we loved about Spokane and North Idaho, which kind of drew us to it, was that it's a small yet big town. Everyone kind of knew each other in some way, shape, or form. So when you mention a name over here in Spokane, North Idaho, people just know that name. And so we just kind of got connected with certain people or the right people in order to essentially, I guess, build our network ourselves. So that was, again, I think what set us apart because when we essentially surrounded ourselves with the right people, we got connected with other local businesses. And then we just kind of essentially, loved on them as much as possible. So
I love that. Love on
yeah.
them. Love on your SOI, right?
Yes. And again, we didn't have an SOI over here because we didn't know anyone. So we had to create an SOI. And one of the biggest things was, local businesses, because there's a lot of people here who are local business owners. And it was during a hard time during COVID. So it was essentially, what can we do in order to help them during this hard time? And it wasn't about like us. It wasn't like what they can do for us. It was what can we do for them? And that word just kind of got around and we just built really strong relationships. And just from that itself, I think our name grew as a presence over here. And then we have had other, obviously situations that our name grew even more. But yeah, that was a crucial element to our first start of our success. So.
Wow, that is awesome because I hear probably on a weekly basis
Okay.
from realtors, agents who have, lived in their town their whole lives, that they don't have a sphere of influence, that they don't know enough people. And
Hmm.
here you guys came in not knowing anybody. So that's really, really remarkable. So let's talk about this amazing community. It sounds like a really cool place to
Yeah.
live, with these local business owners. And what was the thought process behind you guys finding HomeStack, wanting to create and build your own branded real estate app, and how that kind of ties into the bigger picture that you guys are doing with your community?
So the biggest thing is that a lot of people just generally know, like, your Zillow, your Realtor.com, Redfin, all that, kind of basic search engines, but they're associated with people also that we realize that everyone pays for leads. So agents pay for leads through those situations. And so when you would know more information about, let's say on the Zillow or Redfin or whatever it is, they would get called by like 30 people. So when we had our clients searching on these, platforms, they would want more information, but they would essentially thought it would be coming to me. And that was not the case. So it'd be called again by like 20, 30 people,
Yeah.
which led us to the fact of, let's create an app, essentially that our clients can, use. Their information is not going to get sold. They can essentially, talk to me solely, but then also have an app that was a platform for not only that, but also for a platform for our, business partners that we've had and built the relationships locally, and how can we support them? Because we always get asked the question of, who do you know? Like, who's a plumber you recommend, or who's a roofer you recommend, or who's a local small business that, sells refinished furnitures, or whatever it is, or a photographer. We always get asked those questions because being a local resource, we just knew those people. And so that was just an opportunity for us in order to implement our partners on this app. And so all of our clients and even other agents use as a resource, to people that are actually verified and businesses that are verified. So
Wow, I love that. It's
yeah,
like,
it's been great.
yeah, like Good Housekeeping seal of approval, right?
Yeah, it is. And it's like one of those things, instead of searching on Google and looking through reviews and stuff like that, when you have a person, again, Spokane and North Idaho is such a small area. If you have a person who essentially is a referral, you're always going to usually take that referral over than a Google search, right? So when we had this aspect of, putting these people on there as like a referral, like we've already vetted them, we've used them, we've talked to them in person, we've partnered with them in the past, whatever it is, our clients and everyone else just felt more comfortable calling and talk to these people just because they've already been verified and already been vetted. So
Yeah, yeah. And I think I get asked a lot by teams or realtors who want to do what you guys are doing so successfully. How many vendors do you have in there right now? It's a
I
very
think we have 53 vendors on right now, and then I think we're trying to grow to 60 by the end of the month.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So break down your strategy for like approaching a vendor. Maybe these people, or they're a small business, or they're somebody that you've worked with in the past on, repairs for a listing or something. And how you kind of approach them, intro the app to them, and kind of warm them up to the idea of being in this partnership with you.
So the biggest thing obviously is first off was we developed those relationships in the very beginning. So those businesses that we've developed those relationships with, or were used on, contracts before, or just, like their business in general and that we've shopped there, whatever, those were really easy because again, we've already built that relationship. A lot of the new business and new partnerships that we're developing now actually came from a lot of just referrals of either those local businesses or just other people that we've known and contacted. So let's say it's like a friend or another business owner here, we just ask them, hey, we're looking for these type of people, or who else do you think would benefit potentially being on an app in front of, other homeowners, other business owners. And then we just, again, it's just the power of referral. So when you get a referral and you can use that as a resource and as a tool in order to get someone, beneficial, that's already, again, been vetted and, stuff like that. It wasn't a sell. It was very easy for them to get on the app itself. But one of the biggest things too, we also kind of drew this as far as like a hot commodity, is that we're only allowing one trade or one service industry or one business type on the app, per state, because we're obviously in Washington and Idaho, is that So there only is one roofer for Washington and only one roofer for Idaho, or there's only one stager for Washington and one stager for Idaho. The reason why we're doing that is because we wanted to create a hot commodity to where it's like, all right, I want to get that spot right now. And there's not going to be competing people, three roofers on there or whatever the case is, and not going to be competing against each other. So it was just again, a lack of, I guess, spots on the app. And then also we created to where it was cheap enough to where, I mean, we were saying like right now, I think it's like $100 for a whole year to be on the app. So it wasn't going to be like, was that less than $10 a month? So, I mean, a coffee a month essentially is what people are paying for it. And I know people are paying more for marketing. So it's just an opportunity for, again, us to get our business partners on there.
That's really smart to build that exclusivity, number one.
Hmm.
And number two, a coffee a month. Yes, coffee
Yeah.
prices have risen.
Yeah. They're like $7, $8 now.
Yeah, and when you're like, listen, you could be getting referrals and advertising for
Yeah.
that.
And
That's
we've had businesses get referrals and business already from the app, just again, because I mean, when Nicole and I, we're selling from, 5 to 10 houses a month, and you're having people actively use it, and they want those, vetted referral sources. It's just one of those things that, it's easy to go right to the app and get those people in those contacts. So,
and when you go 100 times 63,
yeah,
and then when you go 73, 80, however many you guys,
yeah,
are growing to that, it can really scale.
yeah. I mean, it's going to get bigger. I mean, the more people know about it, it's just going to get, again, it's going to get bigger in the area. And so just one of those things that, I mean, this app is really driving who we are, as people, and again, as a resource, for the people in the area. So,
So it pays for your monthly app fee. You make a little
uh-huh.
profit off it in the end.
Yep.
It's kind of a win-win for you and your vendors.
Yeah. And again, it's just a resource for us to essentially promote our partners in a way to even our clients, and then just promote our clients and give them access. Because I mean, a thing I didn't even really talk about, but it's just super crucial too, is that we allow our partners push notifications, to, promote something that is, that's happening in the business, whether it's, a spring thing or a summer thing or a fall, whatever it is, and they can change it and they can add it. And that just goes out to the people that, again, that are actively using the app and that's on it every day. So,
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know what a push notification is, they are those little notifications that pop up from an app that, I get them from my Target app or my
yeah,
Amazon. And
exactly.
instead of junking up your email inbox, because we know we get just think of your email inbox on like Black Friday. It's like scary, right? You get so
Oh,
many emails. And people
horrible.
don't want that anymore. Like
Yeah.
everybody just wants these nice little notifications that pop up. Oh, cool, 5% off on like heating and cooling or something. And they can like, grab that, or
Hmm.
they wait for the next one and see what the next one is. It's kind of
Yeah.
cool that it like builds an audience too.
Yeah, again, we're not flooding it to where you're getting a push notification, every day, twice a day, or whatever it is. It's just it's meticulous, it's scheduled, and it's, appropriate according to the time. I'm like, for example, I'm not having Christmas lights going out in springtime. It's like it's just one of those things. Like it's appropriate, so it's good.
Yeah. So, um, why is having an app essential in 2025 as opposed to, a website in today's market?
Well, again, like you've, mentioned, in the past to us, that I mean, everything is mobile. I mean, everyone is mobile. They're on their phones. I mean, and also everything is an app. You can order food. You can, I mean, order groceries and everything. It's all on the app. And so that was the biggest thing, because people are, again, are they're at work or they're on vacation or they're just not in front of a computer. So it's just an easier access to more information. And again, it's better than just being able to go to a website and trying to scroll through or click certain tabs or whatever it is. This is literally a whole bunch of information, a whole bunch of partners, all in just one little spot. And it's just easier for, our clientele to access.
Yeah. So give me a couple of your best client app success stories, um, about how the app has just helped you to have them find their home on a better home search journey.
Yeah, so some of the biggest things is, one is, I always like to highlight, is just our partners that are on the app, especially new business owners or business owners that are essentially struggling with either marketing in general or connecting to the right people or even local people in general. Um, this app gave them access to those local people that are actively being, in the business, or even other local businesses that they can potentially partner with. So we had some success stories in regards to that, where, new businesses were getting business right away. It wasn't having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars in other marketing. They were able to also partner with other local businesses in the area that kind of fit their needs, and then also get business because of that. But then again, it's just our clients just had the access to that information without having to reach out to me, because I always think it's funny that clients are like, hey, I don't want to bug you, or whatever the case is, even though we're there to be bugged. That's our actual thing. They just went on the app, and it was just very easy to, get a, let's say a roofer or a plumber out there, especially during emergency situations. So it was we had a ton of those in regards to just our clients having access to that information without having to go to Google, trying to read all the reviews and verifying it, especially in tough times like emergencies like we do have right now in wintertime, where like pipes are breaking and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah. And as a realtor, you want to be a source to people outside of just that
100%.
transaction, right?
Yeah.
Like, of course, people buy 1, 2, maybe 3 homes of their life, but
Hmm.
what else can you be there for them so that when that time comes, they are always going to think of you. So this
Yeah.
is
And that it is super crucial, and that's why again we made those partners on our app, just because of the fact that we wanted it to be again a continued resource, not just during the home buying or the home selling or the home investing process. It was just a continued resource before, during, and after, in order to create this as a sourceful place for just one person to go to. So
I love that. I love that. So why HomeStack?
HomeStack was actually referred to us, so it was a crucial thing that we enjoyed. And one of the things we like about it is that, again, it's geared to us solely, so that was super huge. And two is that whenever we have any like questions or concerns or anything like that, or hey, a recommendation, we send it to you guys, and you guys actually capitalize on it. And you guys, I'm sure you'll hear it from other agents as well. But you guys actually do some of the stuff in order to be like, oh, that makes sense, or that let's dive into deeper as far as that. And again, it's just an app that is easily able to use, and it's cheap enough to where it's benefit to, even if I didn't have partners paying for it, it's worth it for me just to pay for it myself. So
I love it. Pays for itself,
yeah,
right?
100%.
So last question, what are tips that you would give agents who are just starting out with technology about embracing it and the need for it to connect with your customers?
So I'd say use it as a resource. I mean, use everything else like you would normally. Learn about it and use it as a resource, and then put it on everything that you can possibly put it on. This app is super huge. Put it on all of our marketing and stuff, and it's only going to get better. And so the biggest thing is, like, for new people, is learn and constantly be learning, and take that criticism as well from other people that, let's say, what could make the app better, and just report that back. That's super huge. But again, just be confident in it and utilize it to its full capacity of actually being a helpful tool to you. I think that's going to be huge with using this app.
Awesome. Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much for hopping on with us today.
absolutely.
And we're excited to see how your app even develops further. Where can everybody find you, follow you, and see what's going on with you guys?
Well, you can follow us on Instagram mainly. It's at realestateduo.pnw. That's going to be super huge. Or just type in the Bonds and Company in Spokane, Washington. That's just then you'll essentially find us. But other than that, I mean, you can find us obviously at the App Store at the Bonds and Company, and you'll follow us through there. So that's easy.
Super cool. We'll link everything as well, and
Cool.
and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Rachel.
Bye.